On Saturday, 17th of April, the English Democrats launched their general election campaign in Dartford.
Okay, Robin Tilbrook, chairman of the English Democrats. Why should people vote for you in this general election?
Well, we think what we need in England is a moderate English nationalist party to campaign for English interests and to campaign for a referendum on coming out of the EU, to campaign for a referendum on an English Parliament, government and First Minister with at least the same powers as the Scottish ones, and to campaign for fair distribution of spending between England, Scotland and Wales. At the moment we've got, according to the House of Lords Committee, we've got £49 billion a year of English taxpayers' money being spent in Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland.
There are quite a lot of other parties out there with a Eurosceptic message. Why should people vote for you rather than, say, the UK Independence Party or the British National Party?
Because what we're campaigning about is about England and about what should happen for England. And so people that care about England should vote for the party that cares about England. That's the English Democrats.
And one of the things that you must get a lot is you're a small party. Do you actually have a realistic chance of winning anywhere at this general election?
We think we do. What we've done is we've focused on hotspots where we're campaigning. I mean, one example is Dartford, where we've put in a lot of effort over many years now. Last year's election saw us as being the second party in Dartford. That puts us in the position of being the challenger party. Obviously in Doncaster we've got our mayor there, we've got 3 Labour seats that are firmly in our sights, and we think we've got a realistic chance there, and we've got other parts of the country where equally we've made a big effort, like Bristol and Portsmouth and Hull.
Are you a single issue group or do you have other policies?
We're not a single issue group, no, not at all. We're coming from the perspective of looking after English interests. Once you do that, of course, there's a whole range of issues. I mean, I was asked to get involved in a dispute that's occurring in Bridlington about fishing rights, where large Scottish factory fish scallop fish ships are coming in, and they're sort of clearing the seabed. Well, the curious thing is, of course, that we wouldn't be allowed to do the same in Scotland. And in fact, actually, the organisation that was supposedly representing, I think we're going to have to wait, aren't we?
Not necessarily. What sort of reaction are you getting on the doorstep?
Very good. We get not only a lot of support, and people say, about time.
It's standing in Dartford,
Okay. People say not only about time that people are standing up for England, but also they're saying that they are starting to recognise not only the message that we're saying, because I think we've been successful in getting that out, but they're also starting to link that message with us. And of course we are the only party that's campaigning on those issues, so if we do manage to get that linkage fully established, then we will be able to get traction within the system, which will enable us to campaign successfully on it.
And what would be a good result for you on May the 7th?
I think if we had 3 MPs, that would be a very good result. And we would then be fully established as a political party. We'd be in exactly the same position as the SNP was in the mid-70s. They won a single by-election, and people then said, these guys are electable. And the next general election, the establishment were absolutely terrified that the SNP were going to win every seat in Scotland, which is why you get all these concessions occurring at that point. What
is so important about having an English Parliament? Surely, with the seat of democracy in Great Britain is already in Westminster, isn't it?
Well, no. We have a situation where the Unionist parties have put in place the Scottish Parliament, Welsh Assembly, and Northern Irish Assembly. Those are intended to give extra weight within the political system to those parts of the UK. In England, on the other hand, we are still being ruled by the British government, so we get somebody like Gordon Brown coming along as Prime Minister saying his government's going to be all about education and health. These are devolved issues. He wasn't even elected by his own constituents to represent them on those issues, because that would be up to the members of the Scottish Parliament, not members of the Westminster Parliament. And yet he comes down here without a democratic mandate, even from his own people, to talk about those issues, and certainly no democratic mandate from an English electorate to tell us what should happen for education and health. And of course, actually, what's tending to be happening is that money is being bled out of those things to pay for extra spending in Scotland and Wales.
Are you, people have said you're really just a bunch of little Englanders who are kind of inward-looking. How would you address that criticism?
I don't think we're inward-looking. I have no problem with being called a Little England. I regard that as a badge of honour. After all, Little Englanders the expression was originally about opposition to a colonial war. And we're certainly not in any way imperialists. What we want to see is England looked after properly by within a democratic framework by our own politicians.
Great, thanks very much, Robin.
Okay.
Okay, how was that?